Imagine being able to focus so deeply that hours feel like minutes and difficult work starts feeling almost automatic. That is flow state, and once you understand how it works, productivity stops feeling like a constant battle. In this video, I'll break down how to enter flow state faster, avoid the habits that kill it, and train your brain for deep focus. Chapter 1. What actually happens in your brain during flow state? Flow is not a feeling, it is a measurable shift in brain activity. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi at Claremont Graduate University spent decades mapping the conditions and characteristics of optimal experience. His research identified flow as a state of complete absorption in a challenging task where perceived demand and perceived skill are in precise balance. Too easy, and attention drifts. Too difficult, and anxiety overrides engagement. The window between them is where flow lives. At the neurological level, flow involves a phenomenon called transient hypofrontality, first described by Arne Dietrich at the American University of Beirut. During deep flow, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the seat of self-monitoring, self-criticism, and conscious deliberation, temporarily reduces. The inner critic quietens, not because you silenced it, but because the brain has deprioritized it in favor of the task-relevant circuits firing at full capacity. Simultaneously, the brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals: dopamine for motivation and pattern recognition, norepinephrine for focus and arousal, anandamide for lateral thinking and creative connection, serotonin for mood stability, and endorphins for sustained effort. No single performance state produces this combination at this intensity. This is why flow feels qualitatively different from ordinary focused work. It is neurochemically different. The brain operating in flow is not the same brain that is trying to concentrate. Chapter 2. Why you struggle to enter flow state. The entry conditions for flow are narrow, and modern life violates almost all of them simultaneously. Flow requires a single clear goal. Ambiguity about what you are trying to accomplish prevents the brain from allocating full attentional resources to the task. If part of your cognitive bandwidth is occupied by deciding what to do, none of it is available for doing it deeply. Flow requires freedom from interruption for an unbroken runway of time. Research by Gloria Mark at UC Irvine shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to return to deep focus after an interruption. Most people are interrupted every few minutes, which means most people never accumulate the unbroken time required to reach flow at all. They spend their entire workday in the shallow water just outside it. Flow requires a challenge to skill match at the edge of your current ability. Work that falls significantly below your skill level produces boredom and mind-wandering. Work that significantly exceeds it produces anxiety and avoidance. Both states block flow entry. Most people are working either on tasks too routine to demand full engagement or too vague and overwhelming to permit it. And flow requires a brain that is not already depleted. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and dopamine dysregulation from high-stimulation digital environments all raise the neurochemical threshold required to enter flow. A depleted, overstimulated brain can technically attempt flow conditions and still fail to reach them because the underlying neurochemistry is not in a state that supports the transition. Chapter 3. How to trigger flow state on demand. The entry protocol matters more than most people realize. Stephen Kotler at the Flow Research Collective, who has spent 2 decades studying peak performance states, identifies clear goals, immediate feedback, and a challenge to skill ratio of approximately 4% above current ability as the 3 non-negotiable structural conditions. Before you begin any session intended to reach flow, write down one specific outcome for that session. Not a to-do list, one sentence describing what done looks like. That single act of clarification removes the ambiguity that keeps the prefrontal cortex in planning mode rather than execution mode. Eliminate interruption before it occurs. Phone in another room, notifications off at the system level, not silenced. a closed door, or headphones that signal unavailability. Flow cannot be protected in the moment of interruption. It has to be protected in advance by removing the conditions that allow interruption to occur. Use a consistent pre-flow ritual. The same sequence of actions before every deep work session trains the brain to associate that sequence with the shift into focused engagement. This is Pavlovian conditioning applied to neurological state management. It works because the brain is a pattern completion machine. After enough repetitions, beginning the ritual begins the state. 5 to 10 minutes, the same every time. A specific playlist, a specific physical setup, a specific breathing sequence. The content matters less than the consistency. Start with your highest skill, highest interest task first. Flow is easiest to enter when intrinsic motivation is highest. Depleting yourself on low-value administrative work before attempting deep work is the most common structural mistake in knowledge work. Protect the first 90 minutes of your peak cognitive hours for the task most likely to generate flow. Chapter 4. How to stay in flow longer. Entering flow is one problem, sustaining it is another. The primary threat to flow maintenance is task completion anxiety, the part of your brain that begins anticipating the end of the session, generating to-do thoughts, checking the time, and pulling attention partially away from the task. To counter this, remove visible time cues during flow sessions. No clock on the screen, no phone face up, no timer counting down. Time awareness is one of the first things flow suspends. Reintroducing it breaks the suspension. Build session length progressively. If your current sustained focus capacity is 20 minutes before attention fragments, do not attempt 90-minute flow sessions. Work at 25 minutes, recover, extend to 35, recover, build over weeks. You are training the anterior cingulate cortex and the default mode network suppression circuits the same way you would train any other neural system. Progressive load, adequate recovery, consistent repetition. Recover between flow sessions properly. Flow depletes the neurochemical reserves it draws on. A session of genuine deep flow, followed immediately by another attempt, produces diminishing returns because the dopamine and norepinephrine that powered the first session have not been replenished. 20 to 30 minutes of genuine low-stimulation rest between sessions, not scrolling, not email, actual rest, allows partial neurochemical recovery and makes the second session viable. Your 24-hour challenge. Tomorrow, identify one task that sits just beyond your current comfort level, something that requires real skill but is not overwhelming. Block 45 minutes uninterrupted for it. Write one sentence defining what done looks like before you begin. Put your phone in another room. Do not evaluate the quality of the session while it is happening. Just stay with the task when the urge to leave it arrives. The urge to leave is the threshold. Stay past it, and you are in flow. Flow is not a gift distributed to a lucky few. It is a neurological state with entry conditions that can be designed, threats that can be removed, and a duration that can be extended through deliberate practice. You have been waiting for it to arrive. It has been waiting for you to build the conditions. Now you know how to build them. The question is whether you will protect the time long enough to find out what your brain is actually capable of. If this is the content you have been looking for, subscribe. Every video on this channel is the science of how your brain actually works and exactly what to do with it.